Good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing out there this fine, beautiful, this beautiful Sunday morning here in the Philippines? Just started raining. Little light drizzle. Light drizzle. Today is All Souls Day. We're going to head down to Grandma and Grandpa's grave, and I don't know what we're doing down there. Burn a candle. My wife told me that there's even a friend of ours, Rolly. He's our trike guy. Whenever we need rides, we get him. Friend of the family for years, and he does DJing on the side also. And my wife told me that he's going to be down there set up with his DJ booth. They do put on a like a nice celebration to celebrate their loved ones here in the Philippines on All Souls Day. I've done videos on it. In the past, I've gone into like these cemetery areas, and these families just build these big structures, and they'll have running water, they'll have electric going to it, and then during All Souls Day, they all go hang out. You know what I mean? Bring food and just hang out. That's part of the culture here. So I say, immerse yourself in the culture. It's neat to see things like that. To me, it is. It'll be different down here because where they're buried, I know we're talking death. It is Halloween, right? It's really eerie when you walk through it in through there. It's a public cemetery. But yeah, All Souls Day. Edwin, good morning, all. What are your predictions to the LA and Blue Jays game? I'm saying Blue Jays. I went to Blue Jays to win. I don't even think I watched a single series of the World Series, because once the Phillies are out, Bruce. Yes, Bruce is saying the generator you bought is way too big for what you need, unless you're running an air fryer, microwave, and AC unit with all your lights and TV and refrigerator at the same time. You don't need that much. Better to have more power than be underpowered. And here's the thing, Bruce. When you're on this island, you're limited to what you can buy. I know, go through Lazada, go through here, go over to the main island. Well, time was of the essence to me, because that storm that's coming through, and it's going to make landfall at Typhoon. 2 or 3, they don't know. It's picking up momentum. It has shifted a little north, what they were predicting. So Samar, Leyte, up in that area, but we'll get rain. I mean, we're in that path. But yes, it has shifted north. And being on an island, you're limited to what's here. And like I said, yeah, I should have planned earlier. But like I said, I've been watching the storm, and some people were saying that's fake news. That's CNN fake news or Fox fake news, depending on which news you like, right? We got to be in the middle. But it's not. And I know here on the island, like our electrician came in, born here, raised here, 41 years here. And when Typhoon Odette hit, I think it was Odette, Yolanda, Odette. Like that scared the people. They were without power, electric, fighting for water, fighting for food. And they remember that. So anytime they hear something like this brewing and coming towards us, like he was telling me there were people down at down in Dapa, I think in one of the halls or the church or whatever, like they were praying. So yeah, I mean the people here went through it and they know what it's like. I mean, it devastated this island. Um, so they don't want that, or they want to be prepared for that, right? Best way to say it. Joe Hardy, you bought the correct generator. You can run an electric jackhammer and any other tool. Better to be oversized and underspray it down than underspray it down with WD-40 monthly or salt air will wreck it. Thanks for your advice, Joe Hardy. And they do sell WD-40 here. tie things down and bust out the inflatable raft. Lucas Mustard, thanks for stopping in. It's crazy when you see bad weather storms go through here, whether it's heavy rain, earthquakes, floods, typhoons. You will always catch pictures somewhere in that disaster, all right, with a couple Filipinos with sitting on some type of makeshift raft. You know what I mean? Maybe a table that floats, or they'll make a makeshift raft, and somebody in that makeshift raft will be drinking Red Horse. You know what I mean? It's just a given. If they could hook a video key up, they'd be probably riding down that raft, drinking Red Horse and singing video key. They just do those things. They've been through so much and been through so many disasters that a lot of times they don't take them serious. And there's warning systems out there, not like in the past. But yeah, they'll do things like that. And when I see it, it just cracks me up. It's like, wow, you got all this disaster going on and you still can find a way to enjoy your life. That's Philippine people. That's their culture. It's how they deal with stressful situations. Hey, how y'all doing? You're always welcome to enter at your own risk. Street Freak Patrol. You obviously have come into the room enough to where you're not on the ban list. Welcome in, Street Freak Patrol. Jason Pike. Good morning, Jason. Thanks for stopping in. Scott B. Howdy, y'all. And batten down the hatches. Yeah. Batten down the Christmas tree, right? Somebody said your big Christmas tree is going to blow away. Good morning, Arturo. It's going to blow away. And I've named that Christmas tree Cousin It. All right. Many of you're my age. Adam's Family. The creepy end. There's that's how long ago I watched it, but that song stayed in my brain, right? But Cousin It was that little furry dude that came out. And somebody said, your Christmas tree, the big one, looks like Cousin It. It's like, all right, we'll name it Cousin It. That thing is down in there. It has got a main beam that comes from down below up. And they dug a hole probably a good 3 feet or so. I mean, they dug it down. They put it in there. They put these huge rocks all in there, covered it up with, the ground and everything. That thing's down in there. Then off of that, you have your braces. However, a typhoon wind could pick that son bitch up and shoot it down the highway. Put it that way. But it's in there. Now, our little Christmas tree, that may blow away. Donald, have a good All Souls Day. Thank you, Donald. You have a good All Souls Day also. If you celebrate All Souls Day. Ricky USA, good morning, Ricky. Thanks for stopping in. Always stopping in to say hello. Scott B, I wish I was there. I miss driving around in the blacked out motorbike around in my lit skull mask and a skeleton suit. I just love how they run screaming. Yeah. I mean, they did celebrate, different areas celebrated Halloween, American style, I guess you could say, with the kids, with the trick-or-treating. I know a lot of the clubs will put on Halloween shows. I know up in Luzon, the one club I went to, and it wasn't a girly club, it was a disco. Matter of fact, I did a video on it, and they had the music playing. They had people dressed in full costumes, like costumes that could easily be in a costume, like a top costume, say, competition. And then, of course, clubs down here, they have the DJ playing, they have music playing, people dressed up. They came in, a lot of Filipinos. I didn't go this year. We didn't go. I didn't do anything this year. And this is the first Halloween since I've been in the Philippines that I never did anything on Halloween. Like, we never went out. We always have went out. We've always gone out Halloween, Club Excess, up to the other area, Walking Street, the food, the kids. I mean, I've seen that all developed from, the beginning to what it is now. And I've seen videos. There are more kids and adults that night on Walking Street than probably adults in that whole month. For real. I mean, it was packed, loaded. And I seen that start years ago. The clubs used to put displays out. The girls would dress up and they would do like skits out front. And it was neat. And you didn't have as many kids like roaming through there getting candy. And then all of a sudden it just switched. And then, of course you had, the lockdown and all that. And then after that, it kind of switched. You had a couple clubs that had a few things out, but it was more geared for the kids for trick-or-treating, right? And then it grew into the monster it is. But yeah, it was first time not doing anything. I'm not too old to trick or treat. Jason Pike, thank you, sir, for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate it. Vivek, I'm thinking about visiting Angeles City. Go for it. Have a good time. I'm not saying don't go there. I mean, have a good time. But, you want the entertainment, you want clubs, you want to go listen to a band. They have bands in the area. If you're into dancing, they have dancing. And of course, if you're into the girls, they have the girl clubs. You have the malls. You have Clark Air Base. There's quite a bit you can do up in that area. But it's all in what you want to do. There's hot springs. You can go up to Taal. I mean, there's quite a bit to do. Renting motorbikes is easy. Getting Grab is easy. Ordering Grab food, it's easy. And the airport's right there. But you got to visit. You got to visit. And visit Walking Street. All right. I always say visit Walking Street. If you watch YouTubers from that area, you got to visit Walking Street. I always said if we go to Thailand, I'd love to go to Thailand sometime. I told them, but I'm not going to Pattaya. I'm not going to go. I'm not saying I'm not going to go to Pattaya. I'm not going to go to those things. I want to check out the temples and the old, you know what I'm saying, the old history. I want to get out of the main areas. However, I will, and I said I will go to Pattaya one day, maybe 2 days. We'll see, depending on the time schedules and everything. Just to say, been there, seen it, done it. You know what I mean? Yeah, know what I mean. Doug's Philippines Journey. Good morning, Doug. Mark Doyle, good morning. How are you doing today? Can suggest Metallica coffee cup. Hot to the last tip. Yes, you can. I've had one of them coffee mugs, and they do stay hot. I can testify to that also. I could probably order one on Lazada, but yeah, I remember those. I remember I had one. Good morning, Jim Schultz. How are you doing? North of Cebu might get hit. You're correct, George. Like I said, they were predicting a couple days out coming through, and now it's moved a little more towards the north. At one point, when I was following windy.com, I like following Windy in Westpac. I like following this guy. He speaks English. He's got graphs. He's got models, and he'll tell you, "Listen, I'm not a certified meteorologist. I just have been studying this, and don't always go off of your local authorities' predictions." That's what he always tells everybody. But as it was coming in, you can move on Windy. You can move everything day by day, and it was showing like Siargao Island was like in the middle of it, like dead center in the eye. Now it has since moved a little north, and they're saying like north of Cebu, all that whole swath coming through there. But we just got to sit back. I mean, it can develop in 2 days into like a Cat 5. We don't know. Right now they're saying Cat 2, possibly Cat 3. So we'll see. They've gotten really good at predicting these storms nowadays coming off the ocean. So yeah. McLovin, how's it going, McLovin? Thanks for stopping in. How is McLovin doing today? What's up with you? Scott, expat in the Philippines. Magandang umaga, kumusta, Brian and Lut and family. Thank you, Scott. Magandang umaga to you. And thanks for stopping in. Scott B, and that is how you handle the brownouts. Run the house through the inverter and just use the AC grid to keep the battery charged. Yeah. I'm not going to run this thing if there's a scheduled brownout. I mean, we have scheduled brownouts here, and they can last 8 hours. Depends. Depends. Right? They always say brownout will be from 8 p.m. to like 5 or 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. And then they'll put a disclaimer in there. Could come back on early, or we may run into technical difficulties. All right. They always put that disclaimer in there. I think the last one we had, they went like 3 hours over. But even that, I wouldn't even, I'm talking, brownout, like a big brownout. Like it's coming up on a year that we had a 2-week-long brownout here. I'm talking things like that. I'm talking, if we have a major typhoon or coming through and ripping up lines and all that, yes, I'm going to run it. But like a simple brownout, no. And here's the thing. I've said this before. You have Siargao Island, this small island. You can ride this island. I think somebody told me 6 hours. We're more down to the southern part of the island. So we go up and around. They said like 6 hours. We've driven around this island quite a bit. And then you have all these other smaller islands scattered around here. You have the Bocas Grande Island. That's over there where Socorro is, and that's a nice size. It's smaller than this island, but it's populated. So when power goes out on these other little islands here, everything's connected. So one island could get tore up real bad, and we're not getting any power until those lines are fixed. So you always have to watch out for that, especially where we're living. I'm learning these things as we spend more time here. Where are we at? I'm probably way behind. That's why everyone has plastic furniture just in case it floods. Yeah, it floats. Scott Expat, hello, McLovin. Joseph Kephart, hello from Tacloban. It's scary. Yes, it's coming. They say up in that area, that Tacloban area. I say that's where they say the strongest of the winds are going to come. But they've been through that. Tacloban, Leyte. They were, what was it? Yolanda. Was it Yolanda? The like devastation. And I remember when that happened. And a lot of lives were lost, flooding. Matter of fact, we had a neighbor who was there. They got on the roof of their house and they were afraid for their life. And if I'm not mistaken, it might have rolled in at nighttime. But yeah, they've been through that. So yeah, I'm sure they're, the thing now is that you can be more prepared. Right. George, I'm Brian. I'm sorry, I'm probably way behind. The Xmas tree will be fine. There is no way let it fly away. Yeah. Grab that thing if you see it go, grab it by the tail and take it for a ride. Adam's family was great. I am way behind. I remember him from the old show days. I remember things also showed the Netflix called Wednesday. Yes, I've been watching that, Bruce. I like the show Wednesday. That's coming off of Netflix. There's no way that Christmas tree is going anywhere. Scott B. I decorated a tree in 1982 and used to just cover it up with a tarp and set it out in the shed after Xmas. Then pulled it out next year. Hit it with a quick ear blast and done. There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. The thing, they'll spend a lot of time building that little tree. Not the little tree, right? The big cousin it tree. I'm telling you, they're on this month. They started it early last month. They don't like go at it every day. A little bit here, a little bit there. Depends on how many workers we have here, right? How many employees we have here on the 215. Like this weekend, it's perfect. The kids have been off school all week. I even think they're off next week doing modulars. So the whole 215 staff was here. Uyak, Lut's cousin, who's getting ready to graduate as a PNP. We got his graduation come up. He comes over. He's over on the other island for college. He comes over, so the crew was all assembled, everybody. Even Lut's other brother, his boss gave him like 3 days and said, close down the shop. There's not tourists coming. So then they go at it for hours. You know what I mean? They get everything going. But yeah, and that's the thing. After Christmas, If we didn't have the power lines above us, the power lines are right above that tree. I would light that son bitch on fire. Like the what is it, a Phoenix Festival? I don't know what they call it, where they light this big thing on fire and it's a big to do. I would light that on fire, and they'd be right there with me. Ah, Keith, morning sounds like my mailbox. 3 feet hole, 5 foot hole, 4x4 square tube, welded rebar, 200 pounds of concrete. Yeah. GR, good morning, Gypsy Rose. How are you doing? GR. Hold on tight. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on tight. Nothing you can do. Yeah, GR. Thailand. I'm sorry, guys. I get talking. Doug's Philippine journey. I was in Patty in the Navy. Don't remember much. There you go. Must have had a good time. Dear Mr. Typhoon, please stay away from Manila. I don't know. I don't know how far up north they'll get rain, whatever. We've had typhoons in the Philippines here this past year, but they've all been pushed up north. They were all going up north. So, and then there was a 4.5 earthquake off of Davao City out in the ocean. That was, I think, yesterday morning. There's a lot of weird things going on. Cat 5. No, they're not saying a Cat 5. They're saying 2, possibly 3. Let's put it this way. When it gets to the Philippines, like when it gets directly on the Philippines, we'll know. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird how I've observed how it works here in the local with weather like that. We are located on Siargao Island. BT and Betty, thank you for stopping in. Pelko says electric bills going up next year. Nothing surprises me. Buy your power bank now. If I've missed some of you guys, I am sorry. Mark King, good morning. Where are we at? Alan, retired in the Philippines. Thank you for stopping by. More fun in the Philippines. Still thunderstorming in a city. Flash floods are Paranique. Flash flooding at Paranique. Still in this. All right, I'm trying to. All right, sometimes I don't know if it's me, but sometimes like I read stuff and it doesn't register sometimes, right? I never said I was a medical. I'm not. See, I get distracted sometimes too. Right? It's crazy. I think sometimes I think too much, and I want to say it out, and then it gets scrambled in my head. Does that make sense? Should I see a shrink? Should I see a doctor? I just watched a show. I just watched a show. Hang on. Where are we? I like I said, I want to kind of down at the bottom. All right. I watched this show. The Devil on Trial. And I've been watching Halloween shows with Lut at night because she likes horror shows. And we've probably seen so many horror shows. We've seen The Conjurings, and she was all, her and Hannah and Bing Bing would sit out in the couch, and I'd find a good horror form that I watched and they'd watch it. So she always likes the horror show stuff. So we watched this documentary called The Devil on Trial, right? Sir Rick, thank you for the update. 3-0 Blue Jays. Slick Rick, it's sad, Philly. In fact, you're getting old. So this kid, he was like 11 years old. And he said, I came out and he told his mom, like, hey, I seen like this devil figure in front of me. It's like a mass face of a devil. And his mom said, like, oh, you're just dreaming, you must have had a bad dream. And the kid said, well, it said it wanted my life, wanted my soul. And of course, parents blowing it off. You're just here. So then he started like acting out and like fits of rage, and they didn't know what to do. And the family dynamic was messed up because the two brothers, at the end, like the two brothers believed it was going on. The third brother was like, no, it's a hoax. They interviewed the whole family throughout this documentary. And when it came down to it, he went through the exorcism. The priest came, and the Warrens, who were big at the time with the paranormal, they came. They had to make sure it was a possession. Like, it was crazy. And then he had the possession, and then they had the exorcism with the holy church and all that. And he said, he goes, it wasn't easy for the church, for the Catholic Church, to approve an exorcism. He said there was so much paperwork involved. You would think, hey, let me go get the priest, What the heck was that show? The other one, The Exorcist. There you go, The Exorcist. But no, he said there was a lot involved. Then, during the exorcism, the brothers were holding him down. And here's what I understand. There were video cameras back then. Why weren't you videoing this? They were taking pictures. No, there were video cameras. Should have had a video. Anyways, while they were holding him down, the brother says to his brother that's possessed, if you want to fight somebody, you fight me. Come and fight me. So then the demon went out of the brother that was possessed into the brother who said, come into me. And then the brother that was possessed, he went back to living normal, right? However, the brother that told the demon, come in me, years later, he wound up killing somebody, right? However, the Warrens, who were these big people up in, with the paranormal, none of this came out into the open, but they brought it out into the open. They were on TV shows. They all them conjuring movies were made about their life. So they went to the police and they said, listen, I can foresee possible death in the future with this boy who told the devil to come into him. So anyways, he stabbed and killed this kid. And, he was a young adult. So the police came, and of course he was like, I don't know, I blacked out, I can't remember. So when it went to trial, it made the news. All this was making the news at the time. The devil's on trial. He claimed he killed because he was possessed by the devil. And you had the Warrens, and they were pushing all that. It was crazy. And when they went to the judge and said, hey, you presented your case, the judge would allow certain things into the court, and other things, nope, throw it out the window. Well, the judge said, your theory of being possessed by the devil, because there's no evidence, physical evidence, like, you know what I'm saying? He threw all that out the window. He goes, nope, you can't use that as your defense. So they had to plead, or they went for a third degree homicide or manslaughter or some nature of that. But he wound up getting like 10 to 15 years. But, oh man. And then the other brother's like, it was all fake. It was all fake. Like, the Warrens would tell that, like, they sat down with the family and said, hey, here's what you can expect from him. He's gonna sometimes scream. He may, do like spit. He may swear. And the little kid's sitting in there. So the brother is like, they're feeding my brother to do these things because he's acting up. It's crazy. It was crazy, but I liked it. The Devil on Trial. Check it out on Netflix. Yeah. What else is going? What's everybody? What's going? Let me. Street Freak wants everybody. Let's hope everywhere has a great summer on the beach, barbecue, beers, and babes. Yeah. Barbecue, beers, and babes. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 B's. Mark King, the one movie you need to watch on Halloween is the Halloween movie. The first one that is. Yes. I'm trying to think. I watch old, right? 30 years. 30 years old. I'll watch a lot of those. I'll watch Halloween. I like the Halloween remake that Rob Zombie did. All right, that was a good one. I don't watch all the series of Halloween. I'll watch Freddy Krueger, the first one, Halloween, Jason. Believe it or not, I know I'm weird. The Nightmare Before Christmas, the animation Tim Burton one. I watch that. There's a few I watch. I tried to watch The Great Pumpkin Patch, Charlie Brown, right? But it wouldn't come up. It came up. Here's the weird part, and this freaked me out. I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, na 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 na, the Snoopy, the Charlie Brown theme song. Like, all right. And they're doing their little thing and stuff. They're not talking yet. All of a sudden, when they started talking, it was in Spanish. I'm like, no, I can't. Sorry, no. And there was no subtitle. No. And both of my links to that movie, that cartoon, same thing. I was screwed. And I even tried other links I have. Nope. Yeah. Street Freak Patrol. Waiting is a part of learning patience. Yeah, got to have that. you've got to have patience here in the Philippines. It'll drive you nuts. But out here, out in the province, things move slow, but you know they move slow. However, you don't have to deal with the crazy hustle and bustle of a city. Now, if you like cities, more power to you. Enjoy living in the city, but out here, there's just not that hustle and bustle. You know, yeah, in the city, you can hop in a cab and be somewhere quick. Out here, I got to hop on my motorbike. I got to ride into town. But it's beautiful open road. But yeah, you got to be patient. Everything. There's certain things that really tested me here, and then there were other things like, whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah. Scott B, I have a prediction also that one day in the future, you will either get sick, die, or know someone that died. And where do I get my PI physical card? Yeah. Yeah. You don't know. We don't know. It's crazy. Now I really don't want to get into this part, but I watched a documentary. I like watching documentaries, right? And I watch multiple documentaries on the same thing because sometimes one person's viewpoint may be different than another person's viewpoint. But I watched this documentary on the global warming crisis. You know, we're going back to Jimmy Carter era, and we're going back to Reagan and Bush Jr. or Bush Sr. and all that. Very interesting documentary. Well, some say yes, some say no. That's all you'll believe whatever side you want to believe. Yeah. Scott Expat. I bought a Ryobi mower and a hand blower as well. The Ryobi uh, whippersnapper. That's the name of it. Whippersnapper. Who used to? Where did I hear that when we were kids? You're a bunch of whippersnappers. You know what I'm saying? Whippersnappers, like whooper our snapper, whip our butt. You're a whippersnapper. Slang phrases we had back then, right? Groovy, Kid Dynamite, Out of Sight. Where's Ricky USA? He probably has a bunch of them. Seaweed Hero, thanks for stopping in. 10,000 Thundering Typhoons. Thanks for stopping in, Seaweed Hero. Waiting for the CR, is it a part of the brownout pants? The brownout pants, it can be. You can definitely, if you're waiting for the CR and it's an emergency, definitely have a brownout in your pants. It's been known to happen. Yeah. Yes, go Cowboys. Go Cowboys. Cosmo, stay safe, Philly. Thank you. We will. More fun in the Philippines. Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. I watched the new one. It was okay. I only watched it because Ghostbusters was a big show big successful movie, right? Dan Aykroyd and who the hell was all in it? That whole cast, I can't even remember. I'm picturing their faces. Bill Murray, that whole cast, and it was a big successful hit. And so yeah, I did. I watched it. I enjoyed it. Mark King, yeah. I only liked the first two Halloween movies. Only after the second movie for it started going downhill after that. Kind of like the Rocky series, right? Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. I like that. True statement. It's like a rocking chair. You're going nowhere. That's what I have to say sometimes to myself when I start getting worked up, because sometimes I do get a little worked up. It happens. I just say, well, where do I got to be? I don't have to go to work. I don't have to have a set schedule. You know, I was always one. I get up at 7 o'clock. Always have. Uh, I like to get things done in the morning. Where Lit likes to like wait till early afternoon. Between that time frame. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, why can't I get on that time frame? What do I have to rush home to? you know, I don't have to rush anywhere. So I say to myself when I start getting wound up, like, where am I going? Like, what? I don't have to be anywhere. But yeah, I like the city, just not the muggers. Comes with territory. It's like I like the jungle, but I don't like the fucking, the vipers here and the things that can kill you here, and they can kill you here. These wild creatures. But yeah, I think they said they found this massive centipede the other day. We have these centipedes here, and they bite you. They can put a hurting on you. Lut's mom got bit by one. About a month or so ago, and she was like really sick, and she went up to she took modern medicine, like a little your simple modern medicine like aspirin or something, but she didn't feel it. She went up to the voodoo doctor. We have a voodoo. I wouldn't say he's a voodoo doctor, not a voodoo, like, you know what I mean, curse spells and spell cursing on. He's more of like a healer. They call him a healer. They use natural medicines along with certain rituals to cure ailments. And her mom, my mother-in-law, went up to him and came back, and within an hour or so she felt better. So is it up here? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's I want to go to one. Look, what did she had bad heartburn, and she was taking the medicine and everything like that, and eating, and I'm like, he probably ate something that didn't agree with you. But then she was talking about going up there, and I do want to go, but I don't want to take my camera. Um, I don't know, but I think it's one of those things you experience it on your own. I think, but yeah, so I say you get into the culture of the people, and you see these just different things. Patience. Patience. by Guns N' Roses. Philippines expat theme song. You know what? You know what, Seaweed here. You know what I do sometimes out here in the province. I got a nice speaker set up here in the room and all that, and I will turn on "Welcome to the Jungle," and I will raise the volume as high as I can get these speakers, and just jam out to "Welcome to the Jungle." We got fun and games. We got everything you want, honey. We know the names. But Patience is a good song. Definitely a good song. Death Ship was another one that scared me when I was younger. Death Ship. I don't know if I've seen that. I've seen. Here's another one I watch. Dracula with Bram Stoker's Dracula with Keanu Reeves. I always like that. And Halloween, I'll click it on. You know, come the month of October, I'll sit and just watch them here and there. And then bring it down to Halloween. I'll start doing Christmas here. Christmas shows. And bring it all down to my all-time favorite Christmas show. I know, back in the States, it's only the beginning of November. At least wait for Thanksgiving to be over. Well, marketing says no. And I wean it all down. Every year, it would come on TNT, I think it was, and it would play 24/7. It came on at midnight, played all 24/7, and off at midnight, nonstop. You could catch it anytime. A Christmas Story with Ralphie, my favorite. My favorite. And my brother got his kids into watching Ralphie when they were kids. So now I watch it, my brother watches it, and my nephews watch it. We got them all into the Ralphie. And come Christmas Eve, I don't really talk too much to my nephew. We shoot little emails back and forth, and I watch his Facebook page. But I always type in, "It's time for Ralphie." Be like, "Yup." And we'll sit and watch Ralphie, and I'll take my cell phone and I'll snapshot the TV, and then I'll send him pictures. And he does the same thing. But yeah. Beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. You are correct. You are correct. Beware of wolves with sheep's clothing. There was another weird movie. I flipped through my movie channel, click thrillers, horrors, and I watched this other weird movie where, first of all, I seen like one, it was like Winnie Pooh's Revenge, and there was one about Cinderella, but the movies wouldn't come up, and then this one came up. It was weird. It was like a movie. It was based in like 1967. That's the year I was born. So I'm like, let me watch it. You know, that's my birth. You know, that's when I was born. And I like looking at the clothes and the cars and how people dressed and hair. I like looking at how people lived back in 67. 67. Did I say 76? 67. 1967. You know, the buildings and the movie theaters and the stores and the signages in the stores and the gas stations. But it was weird. There was like 6 kids went out to this desert area, abandoned, you know, mine town that is a ghost town. And they were on a photo shoot, and, you know, one by one, they were getting picked off and killed. And it was weird. And I watched it all because I'm weird. Right? Ah, yeah. Patriot Bob. Super Red Horse is the way to go. Only at 7-Eleven. I had never. I'm not a big Red Horse fan. A lot of you guys know that. I will. I will pass up a red horse in a heartbeat. You know, no. But I seen they did have that super red horse. That's the way to go. Go big or go home. Yes, Mark. So, Brian, to have a brownout in the pants at the same time, there's a real brownout. Would that called a double brownout by then? Yes, it would be a double brownout. Think about it. Jerry Anderson, I am late. What did I miss? Not much, not much. Yeah, we're talking about a little bit about this, a little bit about that. That's what we do here. You bring, I try to answer as many questions as I see come up. I start rambling, and then people I get behind, and I miss people's comments. And here's another weird thing. I know a lot of you guys watch my wife's channel, or you better. Lutz Diary Adventures in the Philippines. All right. It's happened to her more than it's happened to me. For some reason, you have the ability with the YouTube channel to preset certain settings for when you upload a video, so you don't have to go back in and click this, do that, do this. You can make it easy on yourself. So there's a presetting to allow comments, and it's always set. You click on or off. The only way to switch it from on to off is for you to actually go in there and click it. And for some reason, her videos, and she looks, because we've had this issue, we look before we upload the videos now, before we set them to where they come up for you guys. Put them on a date, put them on a time, sort of like how I do this. And then we would pre-check to make sure it's there, it's on, and then boom, set it out for to be viewed. And for some reason, YouTube takes it upon themselves to unclick it, the messenger part. And they go through a process. You go through a process to where there's no copyright material in it. There's nothing there that YouTube feels should be flagged. So let me turn off none of that. It's just they've been doing it. They did it to me a couple times. And you got to understand something. When the videos come out, I put out a video usually 5 a.m. East Coast. So a lot of people go on to the channel because you got graphs. You can see what time of the day most of your people are coming into view. So you want to set it to where most of your people. So that's when you're getting a lot of your comments. And comments mean a lot with the algorithm. It shows people are interacting. So if I put my video up at 5 and I don't wake up till 7, check my video at 7:30, the progress of it, and the messages are off, I've lost a lot of that initial surge to the channel. And yeah, Lut's been having that problem. I've had that problem too. I don't know what's going on. Jerry Anderson, good view numbers, 60 likes, 75 top messages. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all you guys that come in. Like I said, I sometimes I can pick a topic and go with it. But I can't sit and listen to somebody that is just going to talk about your just topics that have been just, I don't know, run into the ground here in the Philippines. I don't know. That's just me. Blue Jays, Dodgers, go baseball. Seaweed here. I don't know. Best is Dracula. where you learn to survive without anyone. You can survive anything. With big pictures on it. They lie deep. They lie deep in our garden. I like the first movie, Blade, myself. I like that one too. Scott B, I remember when we had 4 channels, and most days at least one of them had It's a Wonderful Life. Playing any day in December. And in the 24th, all 4 were showing at the same time. Yeah, yeah. You know, the Hallmark Channel, the Hallmark Channel. I my mom, thank God, never got into the Hallmark Channel with all that corny. I look at it as corny stuff. You know what I mean? um, but yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. It is a wonderful life. There's an old saying: if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Yep, that's what they say. That is what they say. I visited New York. Actually, before the World Trade Center towers, the 9/11 accident happened. You could take trips up to the top, and I can say when I was in New York City, we went to the top of the World Trade Center. That was cool. Still remember it. I was young 20s when I went there. That was cool. But as far as hanging out in New York City and on the pass through New York City, when I would fly into JFK from the Philippines, I'd fly into JFK out of Hong Kong. All right, land, get off, go through customs, get my paperwork or get my luggage, go outside. It had a monorail system that would take you to where you had to go. So I would ride this monorail system, and it would drop me off in a certain area, and I would go downstairs, and then I would catch the bus. Not a Greyhound bus, but a bus. And from that bus, I would they would shoot through like Queens, and so I got to sit on the bus, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, we were the first pickup point right there, so I got to sit in the very front, right there, like at the driver, so I could the big window, so I could experience it all, and it was cool. And then went up into the center city of New York, the bus terminal. Um, more people came on. But it was neat. It was neat. I could say I did that 3 times, and that was, coming, to the Philippines or coming home from the Philippines, that route. And then I started flying out of Newark. Now this last time, I just went through Philadelphia. It's not bad. It is not bad. All right, there it is. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That was it. I couldn't get it to come up. I wanted to see it. Wait, yes. Devil's Rejects. That's another one I watch. I can watch the Devil's Rejects, and I'll watch the whole series. House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Reject. I forget the last one. But yes, I'll sit and watch them all, one after another. I think the movie Dusk Till Dawn, everything from acting to the songs they picked for 3 movies was really good. Dusk Till Dawn. I remember that one. Brian Sin. Howdy from Ventura, California. Howdy, Brian. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you for the super sticker. How about setting for advertisers? Notice some of YouTube videos have some there, none. Notice some. Advertise. we YouTubers can set our advertisement when we want them to appear in our video. And then some people just don't put advertisements in their video. The thing is, YouTube came out and said we have this feature where we can where we suggest your breaks in your video come up for advertiser at the 2 minute 20-second mark of this video. So they will place the ads within the video because they're saying that's the best place to put them. That's where you're going to get your advertisement. And they kind of are telling you how to place these in your channel because you want that revenue. So you got to kind of stay with it. You can change it up. You can switch it up. I never did like a test on it to see if it actually worked or didn't work. So I just leave it where it's at. And I don't give, I pay for the premiere YouTube. I don't get commercials. I pay, I think it's $4, something like that. But yeah. Guys, I'm, where are we at? All right, guys, I am going to, hang on, give me 1 second. 1 second, let me, something. All right, and let me do that. What? Yeah. What? All right. All right, I am back. Let me bring this up. I am back. I am having tocino with eggs and rice this morning. That's easy to make. I told her, Joey says, let me know when I should make your breakfast. So I have to let her know. Other mornings, she just makes breakfast. You know what I mean? What do you want? What do we have? So I'm having tocino and eggs this morning. Not my bacon and eggs. I like tocino and eggs. If you ever been in the Philippines, try the tocino. Or if you are in the Philippines and you haven't tried the tocino, try it. It's good. It's a sweet pork. I like the pork not burnt black, but I like the char black on the outer edges and not dried out. And you got to watch because when you go to restaurants, sometimes they bring it out and it's just undercooked. No. I like mine to be cooked, and I'll tell them, please cook it well done, and they're good. They're very good. They will cook it well done, and but yeah, I like the tocino and eggs, and longanisa. Sometimes you find really good longanisa. I like trying it. When Luke and I go out, I'll always get the tocino because I know, what the taste is. And she'll get like a longanisa, and we'll switch. We'll switch up because I like that too. Yeah. Brian Simpson, don't run your genetics for more than 8 hours. Are you saying generator? Yeah, I do know when I run the generator, say we get like, all right, we're having a brownout, and it is going to be a week-long brownout. I don't plan to run that generator 24/7. Maybe I have to find. I have to figure it out. Like, what's the best option? Run it for 9 hours, turn it off for 9 hours. Run it 12 hours, turn it off for 12 hours. I just want to run it to where we have food in the refrigerator and stuff. We're not going to lose it. Not only that, the comforts that we have. So yeah, don't run it for more than 8, you're saying. Ryan says again, does it run off of gas or propane? It is gasolina. It runs off of gasoline. All right, Jerry Anderson's got us an update. Regular guy moving to the Vietnam. Slim crashes his new truck. Jogo been sick for weeks. Overstay going MAGA. P going through revamp. It's me steady. Yeah. I don't know. Regular guy going, I don't know, Slim Jim. I don't know Slim. Sim. I don't know Sim. I'm familiar with Jogo, P, overstay. But yeah, everybody is doing what they're doing. I like Longanisa. Tocino is too sweet for me. Okay. Yeah, it is a sweet taste. I like it though. I do the beef tocino. I don't like pork. I like the beef tocino also. Depends on where we go. Local here, there's, we have, what's it called? Okay. Gusla. I like theirs. I'm not a big fan of the tocino up at Whitebeard's. I like the tocino. There's a couple places in General Luna that have a good tocino. And then they've got a good dipping sauce. But yeah, I understand. At least, Scotty Boy won't be running after 17-year-old Filipinos anymore. I feel sorry for the beat ones now. I would probably like spicy longanisa. I don't know. Spicy longanisa. I haven't heard of. There could be. Happiness is a result of engaging in life fully, even when it hurts. Correct statement. Someone needs to email the Viet government. Nothing going. Another good movie is 28 Days Later. The Truth, Philippines, seen it. Scott Expats. Me, we enjoy both. I have no complaints to the Philippines hospital system, but I guess it depends on the footwear and where you're going to. Where you're going. I wear boots if we walk in the bush and thongs on the beach. Yes, I put my shoes on. I put my long pants on. I put my long sleeve shirt on. When I go into the jungle, down to the beach side and all that's on. I've got mosquito repellent on me. You got to be careful. Looked into a propane conversion. I will look into a propane conversion. Definitely look into a propane conversion. Then I got propane. Propane here is expensive. All right. Caribou Power. Oh. It's starting to rain now. They said it was going to rain today. But this isn't, I don't think this has anything to do with the typhoon coming in. Once again, it has moved. Those that have joined the channel late, the typhoon that is coming through, it's going to be categorized as a Cat 2, possibly 3. They've already predicted, they've already said it. It's moving in, it is pushed a little north. So you're looking at the Tacloban area, you're looking at the Samar area where it's going to hit. We're also in the cone as they show it to get some of this weather. We don't know, high winds, tropical, we don't know. All we know is standing by. But yeah, it is going to make landfall. And I'm sure it's going to cause some devastation up in that area where it's going to run through. So you can only sit and wait, pray for the best, pray that, you know, with the early signal and early warnings out there, people are adhering to it. When the news first broke out, it was crazy. People were saying, "Oh, fake news, fake news," and even now, with it this close, we're talking 2 days. This close, some people, and having this much data about it, some people are still saying, "Ah, it's fake news." Wake up. You know what I mean? So. Okay, we have the 6,500 watt generator. I love it. Running it now. Pause tree trimming for the Typhoon. Philippine Anahawan or bust. Thanks for stopping in. No actual cost. So yeah, an actual cost of living videos are. But you want viewers, go do it, right? Go do it. Guaranteed. All right, guys, I am going to wrap this one up. Hope everybody that is in the path of this typhoon coming through be safe. We don't, the areas don't know if they're going to have power, if they're not going to have power. Time will tell. I'll keep you up to date on our end, what we know, what we're going to experience. So, Brian probably want a second genset too. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in. My tocino and eggs with rice will be on the table soon. And take care, and we shall talk to you later.